Come back, and our guest this morning is Emmanuel Bello. Emmanuel Bello is a very well-known media personality, but of recent he has lent his attention to his state of Taraba, and he's the special advisor to the state governor on media and digital communications, fittingly, I would suppose. Well, we've been talking with Emmanuel, and he's been telling us about the free education policy of Governor Agbu Kefas, concentrating on human capital development, as well should be. It goes into all sorts of areas. And then say, look, just when I asked him the question about, by the way, how is security in Taraba State, that's when the network dropped. But we're happy that we're back together. So tell me, Emmanuel, security, how is it in any challenges there, any problems?
Yeah, of course. Taraba is part of the country. We're not an island, and so we have our own share of those challenges. But with that also comes an opportunity to offer the proper kind of leadership that Governor Agbu Kefas is offering. And then we're lucky because he's leveraging on the fact that our governor has spent years. He's a retired officer, but that's not the issue. We've had a retired general in this country the jury is still out on how he did very well in protecting this country. But beyond that, it's about good leadership and about how you go about gathering intelligence. So our governor has actually done a lot of that. Like I said, we are not an island. We are part and parcel of the ongoing national challenge.
So what's the biggest security worry?
Well, yeah.
So what's your biggest security worry?
Well, yeah, our biggest security worry is the one that, of course, confronts every other person in the country. The idea of keeping people safe, giving them even a sense of safety. And this governor has done a lot. How did he do that? First of all, he worked around the issue of communications, the issue of working together with the institutions in place, the police, the other service chief, to work with them. So a lot of Jalingo people in the capital will always wake up to news that the governor is meeting again with service chief. I'm not going to let out all our trade secrets here, but it comes with a lot of those meetings, the ability to nib information or the intelligence reports, and to be able to get them as and when. It's very important that to get all that. And of course, working with the local community, traditional rulers, youth group, the women group, and everything. And I can assure you that we are getting a better, safer state. But of course, yes, you have eruption of some kind of internal crisis from time to time, especially among border clashes, the crisis of control of the areas and all of that between maybe tribal groups and all of that. That, of course, is this. But it comes with a lot of also, a lot of planning by the government. So, by and large, the governor is doing everything in his power to ensure that this place is secure. During the campaign, he was asked, what's the first job of any leader? And he said, look, the first job of any leader, beyond the provision of infrastructure, beyond the provision of good jobs and all the other nice things with the thing, is to protect your people. That's the first thing. That's the first constitutional duty of any leader. And this governor takes that duty very seriously, of protecting lives and property and making Taraba safe. We've got a lot of things to offer the rest of the world. When our airport is up and running, it's an investor heaven for a lot of people. We have to get it secured. So he's doing a lot of that. He's not resting on his oar. And it's work in progress, continuously fine-tuning the strategies and the meetings and the intelligence gathering that will make for a safer state. And Taraba State is strategically located around the border zones with other countries. And so you can imagine the kind of things we have to grapple with. But, without beating our chest and making unnecessary claims, we can say that by and large, we're doing very well in getting better security and better secure spaces for people that want to come in to do business or even live here.
Yeah, because just about a month or so ago, the Governor Kefas, was calling for a strengthening of security at the borders, especially. So that must have been.
Yes, our state borders Cameroon, borders some of the other countries around the region and with all the crises that you present. So we're doing stronger borders, of course, and watching strongly. The bone and the meat of this is in intelligence gathering. That's one. But beyond intelligence gathering is what you're able to do. Then, thirdly, what is the political will to provide the basic funding, the basic cooperation, the basic relationship building between yourself as the government or as the governor with the security agencies? How are you supporting them? What are you giving to them? Do they meet? Do you give a lot of attention to supporting and to giving them the necessary tools to do the job? And this government is top, right there. And so he sees it as a challenge himself, as a person, as somebody who has done a lot of work. Even, his story is that of the fact that he's done a lot of work around security in the Niger Delta area when he was in service. And he's famous for achieving a whole lot of things. So if he doesn't bring this to bear in his own state, that's a real challenge. And he's from the one when he stepped down from the swearing in box, he has actually continued to ensure that the state is secured. Like I said, with all the right meetings, the right connections, the right it's one of the very few things he did recently, which was also revolutionary, was to actually go around all the service chiefs in Abuja to solicit their support and talk to them one-on-one and say, it was in the public domain, where he spoke with them and had this interface with them and said, look, I need you to support me. So that's very important. And the feedback we are getting from our partners in the security agency are that, look, they're happy with the level of support and commitment beyond the support, the commitment. The fact that there's a governor who is willing to listen, willing to learn, willing to hear from the right set of people, and working assiduously with the communities, because security is a collective thing. It's not a one-off thing. It's not one powerful people coming to secure everybody, but it is the level of work you're able to do with the community, with stakeholders, with the chairman of local government, and all of that to secure the grassroots, as well as provide the enabling environment for people to be able to do the kind of work they're supposed to do.
Indeed.
So it is that feedback mechanism, that back and forth between the governor and his team that I think is providing us with the kind of security. A lot of people telling us that Taraba is safer now than it's ever before. But like I said, it's a work in progress, and of course, the governor is doing a lot every day to ensure that we have a safer state.
Well, that's good to know, because at the beginning of the program, you were inviting me that I needed to come over, and I've been hearing about the Mambila Plateau that looks like foreign. So the first thing that, like foreign climate, the first thing people want to be sure of is that they're going to be safe. And you yourselves, the governor, the state, is interested in developing tourism. So the two will go hand in hand. People hear good news about tourism, about security, then they know that, let us come and go and see this whole Mambila place. But if people are worried, of course, so I know that you're not going to be slacking in that regard. You'll be assuring people.
Apart from assuring, you're not just assuring people. It's actually about telling what is really happening. For instance, we'll be able to expand our airport. So we've got very consistent flights into Jalingo now, from Abuja.
Okay.
So coming into our state, we open up the skies for investors, for tourists, for people who just want to come and find areas to do that. That's one. And we provided hospitality. The hospitality industry is being jacked up. The Jalingo Motel that state owned is being looked into so that it becomes a first-class 5-star facility.
Excellent.
For people coming in. But beyond that, private individuals have actually done a lot in setting up places, because when you're talking of tourism, of course, you need 3 major components. You need, of course, the access. You need to get into the place. The Mambila you're talking about have got very great roads now leading to the place. So you can actually go by road to the place and experience the wonders of nature of the world. It's paradise on earth.
Okay, Emmanuel, let me break in, because I have a caller from Abuja, Engineer ID. Good morning to you.
Yes, good morning.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning, Engineer ID. Go ahead, you're on the program now. Did you have a question, or did you want to make a comment?
Our CA did not make it clear, because we are having a challenge of insecurity in our state.
You are a Taraba indigene?
Yes.
Okay. Go on.
Having the challenges of insecurity.
Okay, tell us about it.
Yes, where sometimes in some other places, even to move, you are not secure because you will be afraid of those terrorists terrorizing those places. There are some places that some roads are being abandoned because if you pass there, kidnappers will kidnap you or unknown government there will kill you.
Okay, so you are questioning assurances that there have been developments in the area of security in Taraba State. You are saying that
there is no development. There is insecurity.
You think there is insecurity?
Yes.
Would you like to concede that there have been any improvements at all, or are you saying that none, as far as you are concerned, as an indigene?
As I'm concerned as an indigene, I'm saying that there is insecurity. There is no improvement.
Okay.
There is several meetings that have been made by the governor, but if you went there about in the village, you see this insecurity that I'm saying about. Because I can point out up to 4 or 5 places where some roads are being abandoned due to insecurity.
And this was active how long ago, as far as you remember?
As I can say, it's for over 3 years now.
This has been going on for over 3 years without let up.
Now. Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to get a time frame, and I'm sure Emmanuel Bello will want to comment on that. Thank you very much, Engineer ID, for calling in. Okay, Emmanuel, you heard him. He says he's an indigene, so he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, but he also spoke about the fact that he's concerned, or I don't know, his observation have a 3-year kind of period behind. We just came in and we are 10 months, and of course, yes, the governor inherited a lot of the backlog of not just the failure of maybe bad leadership or past leadership, but of course, like I say, we're the first to admit that Taraba is also part and parcel of the challenges, the security challenges all over the country. The president is just now very happy because of the release of children that were carted away from a school, en masse, almost like a factory, industrial scale kind of kidnapping of kids. So we have those kind of problems elsewhere. Like I said, Taraba is not spared its own, had its own challenges. But while those challenges are on, my effort here is to talk about the effort of His Excellency the Governor and what he's doing. Dr. Agbu Kefas has been doing a lot in the last 10 years.
Yes, I can imagine. Yeah.
The security agency will be the first to tell you that for the first time, they have a governor that's first, apart from the fact that he has this regular, interface with them. Mm-hmm. He has also done a lot in ensuring that, because he knows this terrain. He's been an intelligence officer all his life. And that's all he has done in the last 20 years before coming into politics, was a soldier. Yeah. So he knows, they are saying this is his world. You're just like you and I. I'm sure our world is journalism and what we do in the profession. So there's somebody that understands that terrain very well and the challenge.
Okay.
And if you're still seeing pockets of crisis, that's just tell you the level.
One can understand that, the context in which you put it, and the fact that it won't be a night and day kind of a situation. This is just 10 months
a magic one will do it, but you have to also look at the intentions, the efforts, the positive impact that the governor has been making.
And we're looking at a progress report of the past 10 months. Ibrahim in Kaduna, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Yori.
Thank you for calling in.
Can you hear me very well?
Yes, we can hear you very well.
Okay, good morning, and good morning to your girl, the Honorable Spokesman of the Executive Governor of Taraba State. Good. This is Ibrahim from Kaduna. You see, I can really say that, yes, your girl there has spoken, and has spoken good and cloud, and really, one thing I really want us to know is this. Yes, as a spokesperson, he already has all the resources within himself, and he will be able to sell his master. That is it. But one thing that I really want us to put in mind is this. Our executive governor, most of them do not visit the rural area. They only settle at the urban area, which is their own main constituency. So I want to use this medium and indeed this forum to call on them and use Mr. Yogri as well, your good office as well, to tell them that no, they should try to strengthen their wings to the rural area. Because why? Everything was just settled in the urban area, which is not supposed to be so. Yes, the government at the state capital have to be looked and have a visiting look as a center of the state. But then we need to do other things that will really bring this democracy dividend that we have keep on clamoring and shouting and clapping on.
Okay.
To the people in the villages.
All right.
But in terms of insecurity, the one insecurity, I can say that yes, the governor is trying. Because it is not just governor that just like to make noise. It's like it's a silent achiever. I am not from that state, but we do hear news. We do monitor what they are doing. And in fact, I can give him kudos for that. Let other governments also learn from that. But in terms of development, please, let every governor try to go to this rural area, because I myself, I come from a rural area, which I believe that all of them are also the same.
Indeed.
So, Mr. Yori, like person like you are from the urban area, so it doesn't concern.
No. Who told you? Who told you I don't have a rural area myself? But thank you very much for calling in. Okay, but you heard him. What would be your commentary on his position that these governors tend to be elitist? They don't know anything about us in the rural areas. They stay in the urban areas, they stay in the state capital, and we see very little of developments. That's the charge of Ibrahim in Kaduna there. How has Governor Kefas done in that regard?
Well, you see, I agree that sometimes, but and I'm talking now like a journalist, and almost agreeing with Ibrahim that sometimes leadership tends to, talk ahead of the people. But in Taraba, we're lucky to have a grassroots governor, a governor that I'm very lucky. I grew up with him in the village, so we grew up together, and so we understand rural life. We understand the common person. We understand. And that's why probably if you look at this governor, everything he does.
Are you asserting, Emmanuel? Are you asserting that Governor Kefas has a common touch? Are you asserting?
Well, that's what I'm saying. This has to do with his background too. For somebody who, and I thank Ibrahim for saying that he does most of his things silently. And I will tell you the reason. The reason has to do with his background. We grew up in rural settings. We grew up knowing families that are going through a lot. We grew up with parents that were farmers, people so we understand the pain. He understands very well the pain of the common person. And that's why for a governor who came, and the first thing he did was to say, take away the burden of school fees from parents. Let their words go to school. That's because we actually grew up seeing kids, being thrown out of school, and then not these pains that their parents go through. So we have a governor that, is sympathetic. He's empathetic, and somebody that understands what's happening at the grassroots. One other thing that he did was to ensure that the local government, because I totally agree with Ibrahim that, look, part of the crisis of this country is the fact that over 700 local governments have been abandoned. And because people have to run from the local government to the state capital, and probably from the state capital to the big cities of Nigeria, Port Harcourt, Lagos. So you will have but if the rural areas, if local government administrations can actually get the kind of boost they're supposed to get, good governance. So what this governor did was to ensure that there was an election. We have certain local government and ensure that they were charming all the local government. Like in the past, what you have is people that are just, assigned to those local governments, and they don't take the job seriously. Okay. But now, what this government has done is to ensure that every local government in Taraba has a duly elected local government chairman with a mandate to ensure that development gets to the grassroots. Okay. They are going to be supported. Whatever that is supposed to be sent to them will be sent to them. They are going to be given all the enablement to ensure. And then, of course, the governor is just coming back from Sadona local government, one of the local government. He doesn't stay in the capital most of the time. He goes from time to time, he just takes off, goes to a local government, ensure that the right things are done there. And so I agree with him that, yes, grassroots is very important because the way the local government goes, so goes the rest of the country. Indeed.
Let me bring in Mazi Okora for Enaru Chuku. Good morning to you, Mazi.
Morning, sir. Yori, good morning, I guess. Yori, my brother, you see, I want the governor to look into Mazi Okora first for Enaru Chuku. The governor should try as much as possible look at this issue of the conflict between Benue and Taraba. It's occurring that very route, that Jukum, that is always a problem every year. And when this problem happens now, it's not a small thing, it's just a very bastardized issue that's supposed to be solved. So please just draw the attention. And I know the governor is a retired military personnel.
Yeah.
He should take that one into consideration. And the students, this issue of school children. You see, I tell you, I was very happy when I saw they say the Taraba, is it Adamawa or this that he has given that he's paid the exam fee, NICO and why for that. The government should do that. Look at the education aspect of this issue of paying of exam fee for the students. Because it's very, very important. Because looking at the economic situation, many students are ready to write the exams, but they have not registered for the exam because of what reason. I think the governor can still pick it up. It will help us at least.
Okay. Mazi, I've got to leave time for the. So thank you very much. I'm so sorry to jump down your throat, Mazi. I'm so sorry. We don't have all the time, but really appreciate you as always, as you know, Mazi Okoroafo. Yeah, one takes your commentary, but would you like to quickly, comment on the, perennial strife that he was talking about?
Yeah, it's referring to those, like I said, some of the crises we have, those border clashes, the control of, spaces, and that whole crisis about who is here, who is a settler, who is an indigenous, who settled here. And this governor is right in the middle of this. He's from Bukari local government, very, very close to Benue State. So we understand those crises. We grew up knowing those crises and we understand it. And this governor, whether as a private citizen or as a business person, or even when he was in the military, he was very concerned about the relationship that is between us and Benue State. Okay. And he has got great friends across the border, and he's working with them as he just even before now to see that we address what Mazi Okoroafo called the perennial crisis. And I can show you that it's being addressed. How is he addressing it? Okay. Addressing it by doing what he used to do, which is regular meetings with them.
Emmanuel, you know all about it. Fast running out of time. I do want to touch on agriculture and then security as it impacts agriculture. So talk to me about agricultural development efforts of the Kefas administration in this regard.
Well, the moving forward administration of Kefas is anchored on maybe 5 principles around the agricultural sector, which is one, to ensure that farmers get their fertilizers as and when due. And the tractorization policy of the government is to ensure that we modernize agriculture in such a way that, of course, people, as I speak to you now, we're getting delivery of massive tractors that will change the way things are done here. The governor has always said that Taraba has no business with scarcity of food. The idea for him and the plan for the government is that we feed ourselves and then feed the rest of the world. And not of a state that says the food basket of Nigeria, but Taraba.
Just as Emmanuel was mentioning that, Emmanuel, you're back. It froze momentarily. You were just talking about food baskets because I was even going to ask, what's the major crop produce in Taraba? But go ahead, now you're back.
Hello, Yori, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Yes.
Okay. Right. So, so I was just making the point to what you're saying that we're really serious about agriculture. And you are right. We have to secure the farms so that farmers can actually go into the farms and do their work. Because what's the point having the tractors and the fertilizers and the training of the farmers, getting the right seedlings, getting everything, when the farmers can't get into their farm to do the farm. So the government is about that.
What's the main produce coming out of Taraba? What's the main produce?
Oh, so surplus. We're actually like the main. We have the biggest level of yam production, but rice is one of our strengths. We have enough rice here to feed the rest of the world, and but that's the magic of Taraba. We have the longest stretch of River Niger, River Benue, and so with it comes with we probably have the highest level of fish in the fishing industry, which is why we're reviving the Window Fishing Festival to draw attention to that form of farming, which is based on the waters in the state. So all sort of things. We have the highest, we have potentials for cocoa production. We have the highest. If you go to the Bangla, the weather they actually even make it amenable for us to grow carrots, to grow apples, to grow all sorts of things. So it's a farmer's delight. The state is a farmer's delight. And when you have a governor like Governor Kefas who is concentrating on farmers now, and with the mandate that we will not just feed ourselves. We don't have business, with the crisis of food like we're having everywhere in the country. We want to feed I want to feed ourselves and feed the rest of the world.
Indeed.
Our potential for rice production is almost, mind-boggling. The yam is something else. And all sorts of things. We have the best fishes out here in Taraba.
There you have it.
When you get to
there you have it. Emmanuel, I'm sorry. I beg your pardon. Fortunately for me, you yourself, you're no stranger to this. The dictatorial injunctions of producers, and of course they're led by the ultimate despot, which is time. But we've just about used up our time, and there's so very much more that we want to talk about. So much so that I think we need to do this again. This was something of a whirlwind tour of Taraba State with Emmanuel, Bello, advisor to the governor of Taraba on, digital communication. And so I just want to thank you. But there's so much more to hear. I think we should do this again.
That's right. Yeah.
All right then. So
yes. Let's do this again. Of course, you'll be invited to our Munyo Fishing Festival that is coming up. It's arguably bigger than the famed Argungu Fishing Festival.
I'd be delighted to take it up. Thank you very much. So once again, that's Emmanuel Bello, Special Advisor to Taraba State Government on Media and Digital Communication. That's our program today. Do please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folare. Bye-bye for now.